In the very first scene of the film, when Janet van Dyne, the original Wasp, finds herself trapped in the mysterious and treacherous quantum realm. She feels a sense of anxiety as unfamiliar sights surround her, and suddenly, she is attacked by strange and menacing creatures, forcing her to defend herself with all her might. In her moment of desperation, she spots a man nearby and reaches out to him, inquiring about their whereabouts. To her surprise, the man turns out to be none other than Kang, the enigmatic time-traveling conqueror. Fast forward to the present day, after the epic battle of Earth against Thanos, and Scott Lang, also known as Ant-Man, has become a renowned celebrity. His heroic efforts have gained him widespread fame, and he has authored a book titled, Look Out for the Little Guy. This book presents an alternative account of his role in saving the universe alongside the Avengers in the events of Endgame. Scott is now living a content and happy life with his girlfriend, Hope Van Dyne, who leads the Pim Van Dyne Foundation. The foundation utilizes Pim particles for humanitarian endeavors and innovations. Scott's main aspiration now is to be a responsible and loving father to his daughter, Cassie. However, Scott's tranquil existence is abruptly disrupted when the police inform him that Cassie has been arrested for participating in organized protests on behalf of the homeless. The police perceive her actions as an obstruction and consider her a troublemaker. Both Scott and Hope rush to Cassie's aid, successfully intervening and securing her release. Scott, concerned about Cassie's safety, warns her about the potential dangers of being a hero. But Cassie, determined and independent, asserts that she can protect herself, revealing that Hope has provided her with her very own Ant-Man suit. A family visit to Hope's parents, Hank Pym and Janet van Dyne, takes an intriguing turn. Cassie, inspired by Hank's old research notes, expresses her growing interest in delving into the fascinating world of science and technology originating from the quantum realm. Hank, ever the brilliant scientist, discloses to Scott that he has been working on a remarkable project involving ants. Through his experiments, he has enabled the ants to construct intricate structures tailored to their needs. Simultaneously, Cassie has been tirelessly developing a device capable of establishing contact with the enigmatic quantum realm. Upon hearing Cassie's plans, Janet's anxiety resurfaces, rooted in her own 30-year ordeal within the quantum realm and her knowledge of its potential dangers. But Cassie assures them that there's no need for anyone to physically venture into the realm to comprehend its mysteries. With the device she has created, they can gather valuable information from the quantum realm while remaining in the safety of their present location. The device emits a radio signal that retrieves data from the realm, providing them with unprecedented insights and understanding. However, the radio signal triggers an unexpected reaction, and a portal opens, pulling everything, Scott, Cassie, Janet, and even the ants, into the quantum realm. Meanwhile, Hope and Hank, unaware of their loved one's predicament, embark on a desperate search for Janet. Eventually, they reunite with her, relieved but also filled with worry. Janet urges everyone to remain concealed in this strange and bewildering realm. Scott attempts to contact Hope using his suit's communication capabilities but finds himself unable to establish any connection. Determined to keep Cassie safe, he comforts her and assures her that they will find a way out of this predicament. As Scott and Cassie navigate their surroundings, an enormous and menacing creature suddenly launches an attack on them. Their lives hang in the balance until a group of indigenous individuals comes to their rescue, thwarting the creature's assault. These natives, engaged in a rebellion against their oppressive ruler, take Scott and Cassie captive but soon offer them a peculiar drink that enables them to comprehend the natives' language and customs. In a vulnerable moment, Scott shares their extraordinary story, explaining how they arrived in this realm and emphasizing that they pose no threat to the natives. Jentorra, the leader of the rebels, speculates that these newcomers might be associated with Kang the Conqueror, the very being responsible for turning their world into a living nightmare. Unfamiliar with Kang's exploits and the dire state of this realm, Scott remains oblivious to the gravity of the situation. Meanwhile, Janet has a chance encounter with some natives who instantly recognize her, leaving Hope and Hank astonished and eager to uncover the truth behind this perplexing revelation. With newfound allies among the rebels, Scott, Cassie, Janet, Hope, and Hank embark on a perilous journey, riding atop magnificent creatures that roam the quantum realm. Their destination, a sprawling and awe-inspiring city, is rumored to hold the answers they seek. Janet insists that once they reach their destination, they all partake in the same concoction that allowed Scott and Cassie to comprehend the natives' language. Armed with determination and hope, the group ventures forth, their quest for answers and their fight against Kang the Conqueror only just beginning in this enigmatic realm beyond the boundaries of time and space. Following their ability to comprehend the language of the locals, Janet encounters Krylar, an old acquaintance, and seeks his assistance. They had previously united against Kang the Conqueror, leading a rebellion. However, Krylar discloses that circumstances have altered, as he now serves Kang, who has become the ruler of the realm. In the midst of their discussion, soldiers arrive to apprehend them. Nevertheless, they manage to overpower the soldiers, steal their vessel, and escape. Meanwhile, Jentorra informs Scott about Kang the Conqueror's ruthless expansion, which involved the massacre of her people. The surviving individuals have gone into hiding and are engaged in a struggle to defeat Kang in any way possible. Janet's inadvertent association with Kang is indirectly responsible for his rise to power. Kang's forces eventually discover the rebellion's whereabouts, resulting in an assault. The rebels retaliate by engaging in combat against Kang's army. When Cassie witnesses Jentorra on the verge of capture, she rushes to her aid, relying on her suit. Scott is compelled to follow suit, and together they confront their adversaries. Suddenly, Kang's ultimate weapon, M.O.D.O.K, launches an attack on them. In an attempt to save their lives, everyone flees. However, M.O.D.O.K confronts Scott and introduces himself, leaving Scott in utter shock. It turns out that M.O.D.O.K is Darren Cross, who was shrunk to subatomic size in the quantum realm during the events of Ant-Man, 2015. Subsequently, M.O.D.O.K apprehends Scott and brings him to his prison. He reveals that he survived the incident and ended up in the quantum realm, where Kang saved him and transformed him into a formidable killing machine. Janet recalls her encounter with Kang while trapped in the quantum realm, where she discovered that he was a space traveler stranded there due to his ship's malfunction. Kang's vessel possessed the ability to traverse any timeline and universe. He aimed to harness the multiversal power core within Janet to power his ship and return home. After years of perseverance, they succeeded in charging the multiversal power core and began integrating it into Kang's ship. As the ship was neurokinetic and connected to his mind, when Janet made contact with it, she experienced his memories. She witnessed how Kang obliterated countless universes and timelines, erasing their existence entirely. Initially an exiled traveler, he had been unable to wreak havoc on additional universes. However, with the reactivation of his ship and the acquisition of his suit, he possessed the means to escape the realm and establish his empire. Janet, burdened with guilt, fought against him in secret for years until Hank rescued her. Despite her return, she remained haunted by the guilt of unleashing a monster by escaping the quantum realm. Hope assures her that together they will prevent Kang from obtaining the multiversal power core. They embark on a quest to locate the power core. The Langs are taken to Kang, who demands that Scott help retrieve the power core, threatening to harm Cassie if he refuses. Scott is escorted to the core's location and shrinks down in size. However, upon reaching the core, he experiences peculiar sensations and witnesses others undergoing a similar transformation. He is now completely lost, unable to comprehend anything. The more he tries to understand, the more his duplicates multiply. This is the extent of his capability. Chaos ensues among his replicas as they all scramble to obtain the power core. Yet the real Scott remains hidden below, somehow mimicking the actions of ants. He inches closer to reaching the power core, only for it to begin descending. However, Hope arrives just in time to rescue him. They shrink the power core using PIM-Disc, and Janet and Hank join them. Janet refuses to hand over the power core to Kang, but he forcefully takes it from Scott. Scott and Hope attempt to stop Kang, but their efforts are in vain. Kang betrays them, capturing Janet and destroying Hank's ship. Kang explains that he discovered the gradual demise of the entire multiverse while examining the timeline, caused by its inhabitants. That's why he seized control over it. Any universe that posed a threat to him was eradicated, including all its variations. The number of people he has killed, reaching trillions, holds no significance to him. After being rescued by the ants, Hank approaches Scott and Hope with his enlarged ant allies. These ants spent years evolving within the realm in a matter of minutes, enhancing their intellect until they finally located Hank. Meanwhile, guards take Cassie away, but she eliminates them and frees Jentorra from prison. Jentorra insists on sending a message to the rebels to launch a joint assault on Kang's tower. Together, they can overthrow Kang. Cassie manages to hack the system and transmits a message to instigate an uprising against Kang and his army. Scott overhears this and they all proceed towards the tower. However, Kang attempts to escape with his entire empire by incorporating the multiversal power core into his ship and initiating the launch. Scott transforms into a giant and wreaks havoc. Kang's ships try to halt him, but the indigenous rebellions also engage in the battle. These rebels draw closer to the tower. Meanwhile, M.O.D.O.K attacks Cassie, but she retaliates by growing in size and delivering a powerful blow, hurling him away. During the confrontation, Cassie appeals to Cross, persuading him to switch sides and fight against Kang, even at the cost of his own life. Kang's ship is on the verge of taking off, but Scott intervenes and causes the ship to break apart. As a result, Kang emerges and begins slaughtering the native people. Scott transforms into an enormous being, effortlessly overcoming Kang's defenses. Kang taunts Scott, unaware of the multitude of universes he has annihilated and the countless Avengers he has slain. Hank arrives with his ant army and neutralizes Kang's forces. The ants launch an assault on Kang, their numbers overwhelming him. Kang erects a shield around himself to escape their onslaught, but M.O.D.O.K strikes him down. As a result, the shield shatters and all the ants fall onto it, causing M.O.D.O.K's demise. Subsequently, Janet urgently instructs them to head to the tower due to the limited time available. They promptly arrive, and Janet creates a portal back to their home. Janet, Hank, Hope, and Cassie swiftly pass through the portal, while Kang launches an attack on Scott, nearly overpowering him. It appears hopeless for Scott as he fails to defeat Kang physically, and the Conqueror seems poised to enter Earth through the portal. However, Hope intervenes to assist Scott, and together they shrink the navigation device along with Kang, leading to the destruction of both. At that moment, I believed Scott and Hope were trapped in the quantum realm, facing an uncertain return. It seemed like a bittersweet ending. But no. Scott and Hope gaze into the distance, and Cassie reopens the portal, enabling the couple to return home. However, shortly after, Scott begins to question whether they made the right decision, as Kang the Conqueror was apparently the only one capable of opposing the other Kangs. The drawback of such a scenario would have been the risk of genocide. There was a slim chance that Kang would spare Earth 616 due to Janet's past assistance. Nevertheless, heroes cannot prioritize the survival of their world over the lives of trillions. They must stop him. With Kang defeated, it leaves Earth 616 and all the universes within the multiverse vulnerable to attacks from Kang's variants. In a mid-credits scene, multiple Kang variants mourn the loss of one of their own and plot their uprising across the multiverse. This scene foreshadows the imminent danger in the movie Avengers: The Kang Dynasty. In a post-credits scene, Loki and Mobius encounter another Kang variant named Victor Timely in the 1920s, hinting at events to come in the upcoming Season 2 of Loki.